everybody, Sunshine Flying here. You can call me Tia, and today we are going to be working on a tiny home. So today's tiny home is going to be meant for 4 Sims. And so what I really wanted to do was challenge myself because a lot of the tiny homes I make, no matter what the tile requirements are for them, end up being for like 1 or maybe 2 Sims. And so, especially with the new addition of bunk beds, I wanted to give it a try with more than 2 Sims in this household. So this home, this tiny home, will actually be able to fit 4 Sims, parents and 2 children, and I have play tested the whole thing. Everything works. Everybody can get to all the appliances, the showers, the toilet, all of that. It is a technically just a 1-bedroom home and a 1-bathroom home, but that's because we just kind of use some dividers and some not half walls, but like the doorway. There's no door into the bedroom for the kids. It's just kind of like an open living area or right next to the open living area. But I think it'll turn out really great. I really like it, at least. And so I hope you do as well. And so it's not quite a lofted home. In the past, I've done lofted tiny homes and I've really liked how they look, but that wasn't really the vibe I wanted to go for with this home. I was really thinking about, the parents probably wanting privacy, and wanting to have a little bit of like an alone time space for themselves. So I really tried to make that happen with this build. As you can see here, I was kind of struggling a little bit with platforms. They are so tricky sometimes, but I thought they would look really nice as like a roofing on this home, but at the same time, I had to stay within my tile count. And so eventually what I ended up doing was taking just a little bit of space off the main level to make it possible. And so then I'm just playing with like different heights of the tiny home platforms on the outside to make it look a little bit more interesting to the eye from the street. And I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I loved this red siding, and so you'll actually see it on more of the house when we finish it, but I just really liked that as an accent color. And I love this lot in Evergreen Harbor. The whole neighborhood, all the houses just look so alike, and so what I really wanted to do was have something really eye-catching and unique on this corner lot. You can see I did put that hedge fence in there pretty early on as kind of like a way to give the Sims privacy, but at the same time I think the extra level on the home also gives them a little bit of reason to stand out. So I just really like how it turned out, and I like that it's eye-catching on this little block where all the houses really do look the same. And if you caught at the beginning of the video, I did demolish the home that looked just like it on this lot. So this was a lot where there was already a home built on it. It wasn't a empty lot when you get the game. And another thing I tried to do was, I believe it's been a while since I built this, but I'm pretty sure I tried to stick to just like tiny living and eco lifestyle and base game, just because those are the 3 packs that really go into this. You've got the eco lifestyle world, you have the tiny living home, and then of course base game. Everybody's got base game if they're playing The Sims. So I'm pretty sure I tried to stick to that, but no promises. I don't remember for sure. But if not, I'm sorry. On the gallery, you'll be able to see which packs I use, but don't forget to go in and take a look at which items from the packs are on there, because knowing me, it's probably like a plant or like a clutter item that is making the house so look like it has more packs than it does. So always be sure to check that with any builder, not just me. But I know I'm really guilty of that. Like, I'll have an item in mind that I want to use and it doesn't fit the pack restrictions that I gave myself. So anyway, so we've pretty much got the outside settled now, and now I'm working on the interior. And I really wanted to use this doorway that I think was from Eco Lifestyle, but I ended up not using it. I'll switch it out later just because it takes up so much room. So it's one of those like eco lifestyle items that doesn't work with tiny living. Other than that, though, I feel like a lot of items from Eco Living or Eco Lifestyle work with Tiny Living. So, and I really like that. This here is my little ladder wall. It's also going to help separate off the kids' bedroom from the living area in the home. So I do use a ladder, not stairs, to get up to the parents' bedroom, but you know, that's the cost of the tiny home. But your Sims can go up the stairs and into that door up at the top. You'll get to see it more later when I'm furnishing the upstairs. The windows were also really challenging because and I don't know if you've encountered this yet, but it's really hard to balance like having windows to let light in, but also having walls without windows that you can put items against, like TV, bookshelves, that sort of thing. So it can get pretty tough. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. One of the perks actually of using that big window on that back wall, that's where the bunk beds will go for the kids. And so it means that they'll both get a window. And I mean, I know some people don't like sleeping with a lot of windows or a lot of light, but my siblings and I always kind of fought over the window spots and liked having nice big windows. So that was definitely something that I used to inspire the build for myself, at least. And I'm happy with how it turned out, and I think it's great that each kid gets to look out the window from their bunk. So yeah, just fiddling with the windows here. The platforms also made putting windows on the second floor kind of tricky, just because like obviously you can't have a window behind a platform because it's a big old wall. So just having to like adjust the wall height and adjust kind of where everything goes in relation. So I did end up extending the house a little bit on the second level, but I think it worked out. It still stayed within the 100 tile requirement for a tiny home. And, you know, I think as long as you stay 100 or less, that's a pretty good accomplishment for housing 4 Sims. But I don't know, I'm curious, have you built a tiny home? What's your experience with building tiny homes? Do you do it for larger families? Do you do it just for, you know, 1 or 2 Sims? Do you have any like tips or advice? I'd love to hear it. So go ahead and I'd love it if you drop that in the comments. One thing I do think I'm going to try to do a little bit later on is try building a tiny home for 8 Sims. I know that's a challenge that's going around, and I've watched a lot of videos about it, and it's really cool to see what people do for that, and I really want to try my own hand at it. So that's coming up. It's on the list of videos. Right now I drop videos every Friday around 2 p.m. Central Time, US Central Time. But I'm also thinking about adding a second video in there during the week, because right now I do have quite a bit of videos recorded already. So if that's something you'd want to see too, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And if you have any requests or suggestions for videos too, I'd love to hear them. Eventually, I'd like to have like a reward in Twitch, be like you can request a whole build, but right now if you just give me suggestions, like I'll probably end up using it, because I have so few followers right now and I'm really just working on building that up. So I'd love to, you know, keep getting ideas and inspiration from you all. So I'd love to hear what you think, what ideas you've done that you enjoyed, what things you wish you could see, what you want somebody to work on. So that would be awesome. Here I'm just placing a whole bunch of clutter up in the parents' room on the dresser. Usually I don't put these like coat racks and shoe racks in bedrooms. I save them for like in closets or by like the entryway of a home, but I thought it really worked here because there is such minimal space. Like, yeah, you have a dresser for things like your underwear, but you know, having that exposed kind of shelving seems very tiny home-esque to me. And I just threw in some pillows here. I've got I've seen some other simmers do it where instead of side tables, they just have hanging lights next to the bed, and I really love that, and I thought that this was a great build to try that in, especially with those like geometric hanging lamps. And then, so that's the easy part done. The parents' room, it was definitely the easiest part. Here, I basically give up on that doorway from Eco Lifestyle and just make it a two-dimensional, kind of just in the wall, not sticking out from the wall kind of thing. The tiny kitchen wasn't actually that hard. These cabinets fit in really nicely and looked really, I loved the way they looked against this wallpaper here in the kitchen. It just looks kind of rustic, almost country kitchen-y, but a little more polished. And so I was really happy with how that turned out, and I just put a little bit of clutter on the counters. I think I even get rid of some of what's already there, but maybe I don't really remember. But at least I remembered the sink. I forgot a sink in one of my other builds, and I felt like such a dummy, but got it all figured out and remembered to put it back in before I uploaded to the gallery, so that was good at least. This little window nook I thought worked really nicely for a dining table. It's just big enough for the 4 Sims who live here. It's a mom and dad and 2 kids. They are child age. And I can share the family too. Like, I actually put some time into kind of designing this family when usually I don't do that. I'll just like pick a random sim and put them in the build to do some screenshots. But I really enjoyed making the family for this home too, and kind of furnishing in their little somewhat eccentric, half child inspired, half, kind of hipstery adult style. And I actually did get, I think that bathtub stays. Yeah, I actually got a full like bathtub shower combo. And then just use some of the tiny living and eco lifestyle sink and toilet and stuff like that. But got towels on the wall, got lots of space in that bathroom. And so it's a pretty big bathroom, all things considered, for a tiny home. But you need a bathroom like that. So, someone can shower while someone's brushing their teeth. I mean, obviously you'll be a much closer family here than other places, but yeah, so here's that bunk bed nook that I was kind of talking about, where each bunk gets a little slice of the window. I was gonna try to squeeze something in at the foot of the bed, but it just wasn't gonna work, so I just decided to leave it where it was. And then they also get a little study nook here, and these, I think they're from Parenthood. I probably used a lot of Parenthood in this pack too, but these desks from Parenthood also work really nicely. That way each kid can study. I know they can use the table for that too, but I just thought it was, a nice touch to have a study space for the kids too. And even with the chair at the desk, the kids can climb the ladder into the bunk bed, which is also nice. I wasn't sure about that, but like I said at the beginning, everything here has been play tested. Everything works. The seating, the chairs, the kitchen, everything in the kitchen, everything upstairs, everything in the bathroom. I love that rug. I think that rug makes it into every single one of my builds. But I don't usually use that couch, but I did for this one, and I really like how it looked. So I think we're about done here. I'm going to do a little bit of landscaping now, so get like the mailbox out. I pulled that bird feeder out earlier in the build just because I thought it would be a nice touch, have some more eco kinds of things in the yard. So there will also be the beekeeping and some garden squares. And I believe I put some lawn furniture out there as well, so everybody can kind of hang out, chill in the yard. I do put quite a few, it's more of like a natural kind of looking front rather than something really polished and gardened pretty heavily, but it's outlined in stone, so there's a little bit of care put in. I mean, obviously it's not just going to be messy weeds and stuff, but and then just some of that terrain paint to make it look lived on, some paths to the backyard because there is no door at the back of the house, a couple of trees, just for a little bit of privacy. I thought having pine and evergreen looking trees in Evergreen Harbor made a lot of sense. And so, yeah, there you can see the kind of outdoor yard type things that I put out there. So I guess I do use a lot more packs than just the two that I talked about at the beginning. I'm also going to put some bikes in here. I'm going to put them in those two little single walls that protrude out, kind of like a little bike rack type thing. I've got a whole bunch of different colors for the kids and the parents, so they each have their own. Even though I don't think kids can actually ride the bikes, one day they're going to age up and they're going to want to ride the bikes. So did a little bike rack there, and there were also some wall decorations that I don't usually use that I put in here, like a garden hose, and I think there's like some gardening tools that I also have them hang on the wall. And I just thought that was a nice touch to make it look very outdoorsy, very eco-y, very like they spend a lot of time outdoors, because I imagine this family does, especially, having 4 people cooped up in 100 or less tiles. I think I used 95, but maybe it's a little bit more. I can't see the screen I'm recording with is pretty small. But yeah, just putting in a couple more finishing touches on the yard, and then we're going to go ahead and cut to some screenshots. So I did extend the garden type greenery a little bit further over, along with some rocks. But overall, it's just a very green, very cozy, very family-oriented place, and I think it turned out really nicely. I'd love to hear what you think about it, what you would do differently, what you want to use in your builds, and of course any ideas you have for future builds. So here we're just going to do some screenshots of all the exterior, and then we'll hop to the interior and take a look at everything. And like I said, see, from the outside here, you can see the colors just pop against all of those beiges and boring colors on the home. Inside here, you could see all the way through from front to back. So it's not super private, but I mean, you can easily put curtains up in this build if you wanted to. I did not, just because I knew it would be pretty cramped, but if I were to play this game, I probably would, just to make sure there was no like embarrassment moodlets coming up, because if they're not needed, I don't like having them in my gameplay. So, but it does make storylines fun, I guess. Just taking a few more looks at everything, and so I'm gonna wrap up the voiceover here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next Friday.